Solana has been rejected from its 200-day exponential moving average. What does this mean for your SOL holdings? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the technical analysis on Solana, sharing my thoughts and opinions as to where I think that price action is heading. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and let's take a look at what's going on with Solana. So here we have Solana paired up with USDT. We are on the 1-day Binance chart. And while we've been tracking a bit of a bearish move for Solana for quite some time, so we hit the higher range expectations up on the July 2024 highs, where we were expecting between 190 and 198. We then saw the breakdown. We found brief support up here at the kind of 165 to 171. We were hoping for a retest, but actually we didn't quite rally as high. We saw a bit of a move on the 8th of August, where we did see a high of 163. We then saw this kind of double top situation with that at 162.30 and then complete rejection from there. Okay, so there was support on the 200 EMA. There was trying to rally above the 50 EMA, which is the blue line, and the 50 SMA, the yellow line. But unfortunately, in the last couple of days, you can see here that we did lose the support of the 200 EMA. This was on the 29th of August. We tested it and found it as a resistance line here on the 30th of August, which would have been our trade. So we would have been looking to go short here, stop loss above the 200 EMA, target out 1.5 on the risk reward ratio, and we would have easily taken some profit off the table there. Now, of course, we've retested the 200 EMA and got rejected from it. And here you can see another trading opportunity presenting itself. Again, what you would be looking for would be to go short on the market, stop loss above the 200 EMA, and of course be targeting out 1.5 on the risk reward ratio, which will take us down more towards $117. Okay, now that's going to be the kind of expectations on the market, in my opinion. And of course, if I were to be trading like this on Solana pair, USDT, I'm going to be using something like 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏 or Blowfin, which are my go-to platforms when it comes to leverage-based trades. So if you haven't already got accounts of those, check out the links in the description down below. Using those links, you're eligible to some fantastic sign-up bonuses and discounts for using those exchanges. Obviously, the terms and conditions do apply, jurisdictions apply, all that kind of stuff. So click the links and you'll find out all the information that you need. So yeah, you can see here that's the idea, but Solana's price action actually is looking a little bit more bearish than that. Okay, we were, of course, and have been talking about this move to the downside for quite some time. We are looking for $93 to $107 for Solana. This is a part of a bigger macro breakdown, and I'm going to show you where that looks like, or what that looks like right now. So from our low on the 5th of August, this is a swing low that we need to kind of consider. There's a huge pocket of buying in here as well, at least there was, so it's going to be an interesting point of reference. And you can see here that if I pull this up onto this existing kind of swing high area of $163, this actually shows $92 to $81 as the typical range for Solana to move down to. Okay, so I'm going to pull that in and I'm going to just leave that right on there. I'm just going to pull that across so it's a little area just over here, then delete the fib off the chart. Now, if we zoom out of this and we take into consideration the initial push to the downside, this little run to the upside, we end up with that slightly more conservative but still bearish outlook for Solana, coming in more in that kind of area of $106 to $93, the first yellow box area that I had drawn out. Okay, so we understand that we have the conservative 3-wave correction, which looks like this for Solana, coming down into this range. We then have the more bearish scenario, which is playing out as an internal 3-wave pattern, looking like this. Okay, so Solana unfortunately doesn't look like it wants to kind of hold these levels. With the breakdown of the 200 EMA, that short position that I was talking about could be even more lucrative by targeting out some of these lower ranges as well. Again, a trailing stop or just kind of putting your take profit or your stop loss into profit as you kind of see more progression in the charts could be a fantastic way to go when it comes to the price action of Solana. Now, on the daily time frame, we remain in lower highs and lower lows. As you zoom out here, it's easy to see this. It's more of like a parallel channel kind of situation. We're at the mid-level of that, so it doesn't look terribly too bad. And we might find some relief rallies in places as well. So we want to bear those things in mind. I'm just going to see if I can find the correct tool for the job, which I can't because it's in here, parallel channel. If we go ahead and snap this on, you can kind of see what we're talking about right here. You can see this really kind of coming into that resistance level around the mid-level. So you might find some more volatility on Solana, but we are looking at moving down. As you can kind of see, do we think we're going to lose $100? I think that $100 level is probably going to hold, but it's up for grabs. Essentially, if the bears want to push it down there, they can. Okay, so we'll keep a close eye on it. Ultimately, though, we're still bullish on Solana, though. Even though we expect more volatility here to the downside over the next few weeks, the patterns or the candlestick patterns that we see are actually bullish patterns. They're not bearish patterns. And the reason for that is we have a lot of overlap going on. And the overlapping nature, the same that we have with Bitcoin, shows that we're not in a trend. Instead, what's going on here is what we call a continuation pattern. And a continuation pattern is going to continue whatever led into it. Okay, so as we look at this, we have the continuation pattern going sideways. What led into that was this move to the upside. That means that we're likely to see a move to the upside as we come out of this continuation pattern. Now, that, in my opinion, will be 2025, and we're still looking for some great growth in Solana's price action during that move. Now, our smart money concept tells us that we should also be thinking about the resistances here on the smaller time frames. Or the kind of zoomed in daily macro, is that equilibrium is above the 50 EMA, 50 SMA, and 200 EMA. Price action is lower than all of that. We do obviously look for a move back to the downside. Now, our structures on smart money concept are bullish. Okay, you can see that here with a break of structure. You can also see it with a strong low down here and a weak high up here. What this tells us is that the structures that we see, the overlapping nature of those candlesticks, is actually a bullish one. But what it doesn't tell us is that, actually what smart money concepts is kind of hinting at here is that we are not going to go down lower and we should only break up higher. The problem that I have with that is that it's counter to Elliott-Wave theory. It's counter to where we positioned with the EMAs and the SMAs, and it's also counter to where equilibrium sits. Okay, equilibrium is the 50% level between the strong low and the weak high, or another way of thinking about it, the discounted range and the premium range. Okay, so the price action itself is actually counter to the bullish structure that smart money concepts currently tells us that we're in. On a smaller time frame, smart money concepts is in a bearish structure. You can see that here and here with a change of character and a break of structure. So smart money concepts isn't quite caught up on the daily time frame, and that's the problem with a lot of these indicators, is they're quite laggy. They only show you what's happened, not what's happening. Okay, and the difference between price action analysis and indicator-based analysis is that price action can be more predictive than what indicators can kind of tell you. So for Solana's price action, I think we are going to come down lower, and if we don't close lower than the previous swing low, we'll still remain in our bullish smart money concept structure. It's because we haven't closed anywhere near these levels that we've actually got bullish ideas going on. So be aware that although we have at the moment a strong low weak high, doesn't necessarily mean that you can't break that existing low. Okay, smart money concepts is quite capable of going down and setting a new strong lower low on the daily time frame, as long as it doesn't close lower than the previous wick low. So bear that in mind. The areas that Elliott-Wave theory thinks that we're heading to, of course, is right in line with the previous area of demand. These pockets of green that you see here, this is where there was a large amount of volume coming in for the market. So that's probably the most probable scenario is you wick down there, you move down and you grab some huge buy orders, and actually we close back up here. And again, you still remain in your bullish structure, okay, whilst also allowing price action to dictate what's going on. So for Solana, expect volatility, expect some better deals, and expect better terms for buying if you wanted to buy. Now, obviously, when it comes to more macro kind of pictures, where do we think things are going? Let me turn smart money concepts off so this loads a little bit faster. We can see 244 to 618. This is kind of the first yellow box area that you see here on the chart. This is the range that I'm expecting Solana's price action to go to on a conservative level, right? That's kind of what we're looking for. There's the potential, if we were to see ETF kind of scenarios, that we see $2,000 to $7,000. That's more of a long shot, but it's something that we need to kind of consider as a bit of a wild card for Solana's price action. Personally, I think we have the ability here to actually push up into that kind of range, heading out more towards kind of $400. Let me show you where I think that price action could have the potential of heading, assuming that we do, of course, move down to $100. I'm just going to use $100 flat as an example. It would allow us to kind of think about the price action going between $250 to $330. If we come down lower, then of course we'll be pushing those higher ranges, maybe around kind of $370 and so forth. Ultimately, I don't suspect that we've got huge potential here, specifically with all the Solana unlocks happening in March 2025. I think there's going to be some profit for sure, but I don't think it's going to be amazing profit towards the $2,000. Would love to be wrong, of course, but that's kind of what we see going on here when it comes to Solana's price action on the daily time frame. So yeah, I think expect volatility. Ultimately, we've got some better prices. If we want to kind of dollar cost average into some positions, I think be very wary over what's going to happen in March 2025 and be wary about what your price predictions are for Solana and those expectations that you have on the return on your investment. But you can let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below, or join us in our free Discord server. We would love to hear from you. And guys, if you haven't done so already, check this video out right here. It's not one you're going to want to miss.